Hare Krishna, welcome. We're going to be talking today about contact follow-up. Now, we're beginning here with some words from Srila Prabhupada, who said, our first objective in ISKCON is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and to educate all peoples in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and to achieve real unity and peace in the world. He also gave us another object for our society to propagate a consciousness of Krishna as it is revealed in the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, we highlighted these three words here, systematically and propagate. What does propagate mean? It comes from Latin, propagare, meaning to multiply from shoots. Or in other words, to spread an idea. So, what we're talking about here is how to take the efforts that you make in making contacts, in distributing books, in getting people to come to your festivals, to your temples, and to nurture that so that it becomes a growing shoot that propagates and spreads and bears fruits. So I got some ideas for this some years back, reading about what they did in the UK in 1985. At that time, there was a mood around the world from the BBT trustees to try to develop more follow-up. Okay? So they made an experiment. Excuse me, get my directions here. Of course, devotees are going, they're distributing books, and they ask people for their names and addresses. The most interested people, they got their postal address. They handed in those names and addresses at the end of the week after they were distributing, and that data was entered into, I quote here, a very expensive top-range 1985 computer, which probably today would fit into the palm of your hand. But for them, it was quite a new thing, a computer, right? So then they used that to send out a complimentary copy of the Back to Godhead magazine. And with that, they asked people, well, if you like this, we'll give you another 2 issues. A free 3-month trial. And at the end of those 3 months, they were invited to become an annual subscriber, and they were also invited to join what was called the Friends of Lord Krishna newsletter. Right? So now, the results of this were that 10% of all those that were offered the 3-month trial, in other words, they got the first issue, they were offered, please come in. They were offered 2 more issues. So 10% of those who were offered it, they took it up. They said, yes, I like the first issue, let me get 2 more issues. 10% of those who took up that offer, they actually subscribed, they paid for a subscription. And 50% of those people who subscribed actually joined the temple. So, and I've just noted here that even today, one of those persons is a temple president and another is becoming a sannyasi. So these are significant results from following up on book distribution. Now today, what's happening? I'd like to ask you in the audience, what is your experience? Do you have any special experience in your own area of doing any sort of follow-up, or do you know of any sort of follow-up activity? Of course, it's significant if none of you know of anything, that's also telling. Anyone? Any follow-up going on? Well, let me ask, any outreach? Are you doing book distribution? Yes. You're distributing books. Are you having festivals? Yes. Are you inviting people to come to your temple? Yes. Are you following up with the people who receive books or come to your temple or go to a festival? No. You have some email.
Yeah, Facebook.
Okay, so you have something there. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to improve that. All right? So why don't we do this? What are some of the reasons we don't follow up with our contacts? Any reasons you'd like to throw out here? People who are not doing this. Yes?
Maybe there's not one person in charge of just doing that service, so nobody does it.
Right, there's no one assigned to do it, so it doesn't get done. Any other obstacles you find? Well, let's say, why should we follow? What are some of the benefits? What can happen if we do follow?
We follow up, and the person who came first time or second time, they feel that we are concerned of their coming. We become a welcoming friends for them, and we have a chance for them to come to our temple regularly.
Right. So we're nurturing them. They have a chance to get going further. What's some other benefits from following up on contacts? Yes?
We will get new devotee.
Excuse me?
We will get a new Krishna devotee.
They'll become devotees. How about that? What's one of our themes here? More devotees, happier devotees. So how are we going to have more devotees and happier devotees? We have to cultivate. We simply plant the seeds and we don't cultivate these seeds, and first of all, we may not get any harvest at all. Or what's another possible thing that happens if we don't follow up? What might happen? Maybe that seed or that fruit, the fruit that comes, goes somewhere else. We had this in any of you were at the Effective Outreach Seminar? You saw, we have the actors are right here. Anyway, they showed how someone at the end, because there wasn't any good follow-up and things were very hodgepodge, they said, well, maybe I'll check out some other spiritual path, because it's not working. Okay, so what can we do? This is our core message here. If you take anything out of this seminar, please take this one key strategy. When you plan the outreach, plan the follow-up. When you're planning book distribution, plan how you're going to follow up. When you're planning a festival, plan how you're going to follow up. When you're opening your temple, inviting people to come, plan how you're going to follow up with the people who visit. When you do Harinam, and you're out there and somebody gets interested, plan how you will follow up on that person. People visit you have a restaurant, how will you follow up? So when you plan the outreach, plan the follow-up. Now, there are different approaches to follow-up. The first one is the individual approach. It means the devotee who makes the contact, who distributes the book or meets somebody in the temple, takes personal responsibility to follow up with that person. So this is really the ideal. There are devotees who learned this type of approach many, many years ago. There's one devotee that I don't know very many of these devotees. There's one called, his name is Anagadundavi, he's in Italy. And for 10, 12 years he's been following up with people that he distributes books to. And every year he sells them more books. They advance in Krishna consciousness. They become devotees. Through his follow-up, he's made dozens of devotees. And continued to distribute books on a regular basis. So that's the individual approach. But that takes a certain kind of individual to begin with, and it certainly takes time. The other approach is a team approach, where you work it out that the devotees who are making the contact, they work with a team to do the follow-up. And so they're not necessarily individually responsible. They could be part of an effort. This is especially appropriate for volunteers who are coming to your festival and they're just doing some volunteer service. They're not in a position, they may distribute a book at the book table, but they're not in a position to do the personal follow-up. So they hand it in to a team which is responsible. And the third approach is that if you can't do any of these things, then think about outsourcing it. I'm here on behalf of the Outreach Committee, GBC Outreach Committee, and we are in the process of setting up service centers so that if you can't do anything with the contact, the name and the address and so on, we'll do our best to at least use email and the internet to follow up with those people. So these are the different approaches. So as we said, when you plan your outreach, you plan your follow-up. So first of all, when you plan, you have to plan in the context of the contact. Is it book distribution? Maybe different type of plan than it is for a festival or a temple visit. One of the key elements of your plan is that you've scheduled and you've prepared the follow-up program before you actually begin the outreach, so that you're not trying to catch up afterwards. And one of the special ingredients is if it involves some sort of an event, that you have that ready to invite people to when you make that contact, and you have that follow-up ready to go. So now we're going to get into, we call this seminar 5 steps to follow up, so we're going to go through the 5 steps. Number 1, you have to set your goals, meaning, where do you want to take people? Do you want to bring them to a special introductory program, a temple visit, maybe just your Facebook page? You just want to get them to come to your Facebook page. Or maybe if you're really ambitious, you could say, you have the resources, you want to visit them in their home. This is especially applicable if you're doing door-to-door book distribution, because you're already at their home once, you know where they live, and if you can prime them to receive you another 2 weeks later, you come with some prasadam, ask them how they like the book, give them a phone call first of all before you come to let them know you're on your way. This is an excellent method of follow-up. Consider, as you're setting your goals, we ask you to please consider how to help people take advantage of the books that they received, and consider what are the steps. Okay, first step, starting a relationship, having some relationship with a devotee. Next step, making inquiries. Next step, maybe attending a course. Next step, probably temple visits. For most of our street or outside contact, depending on your temple, depending on how your temple is organized, might not be the next first step. You might want to first bring them into something a little more neutral, that is more comfortable. They don't have to take off their shoes. They can just be comfortable with it. So set your goals. Then the next thing in following up, you have to have something to offer people. People are not, if I came up and you say, give me your name and address. Give me your email. What for? Why? Why should I? It's the next obvious question is, what do you want that for? So we have to offer people something when we ask them to give us their contact information. So what do you tell them? Well, there's lots of things we can offer. We can maybe, if it's an email, we can offer them something that they can download, send it directly to their email address. It may be a special event. We're having this event coming up in your area. In 3 weeks or in a month, we're going to be holding this yoga meditation conference or seminar, workshop, whatever, and would you like to attend? Here's an invitation, and please, if you give me your contact information, I'll remind you about it and send you more information so that you how to come. It might be just if nothing else, just join our mailing. Would you like to be on our mailing list to hear about future events? Or here's another one which is can be very successful as a discount or something free, like a free lunch, a free dinner. In New York, the devotees there had, this is when they had Govindas in 55th Street, the book distributors were given a number of these free dinner cards. And they were told that if you meet somebody really interested and so on, give them one of these. Those people would come and they would become devotees. Many devotees came out of that effort. And of course you can fill in the blanks here. Be creative, do whatever. So again, as you're defining your offers, be considerate about the different kinds of contacts that you have, because the offer may be different for different kinds of contacts. We suggest that there are people who are hot, they're readily, they don't even, in your skit, I think you had somebody, he was saying, how do I contact you? You know, somebody who already asks, how do I follow up? Then they're hot. You want to make sure it's your duty to take care of those people. Then there's those who are warm, their interest is more casual, but they're open to following, and they're willing to give you their information. You have to give them some offer. And then of course there are people who are a bit reserved. They're not ready to give you any information. They took a book, or they just are browsing, you know, your festival site, they're just looking at the Harinam. They're not ready. But you can give them something that they can take action on, so they can take the first step to follow up when they choose to. So next, after you've figured out where you want people to go, you've defined what you're going to offer them to get their information, then you have to plan out the whole staging of the follow-up system. Of course, the first step is you have to collect the information. You have to find what to collect, how you will collect it. Will it be something like this, little stay in touch card? We'll send you samples. We have a sheet to sign up at the end, and we're going to send samples of various things. This one's very nice. It's from the UK. And it also has a little circle here, level of interest. So the devotee who collects this can circle off. You know, is this a number 1 or this is a 9? Oh, pop. Okay? You want to define what is the first follow. What are they going to get? You'd like, ideally, as soon as this information gets entered into your computer system, and if you need a computer system to do successful follow-up, unless you have a lot of time and writing ability. So a computer system makes it a lot easier. And computer systems also give you the ability to kind of automate the first follow-up thing, which would be maybe an email, thank you very much for getting our book, or maybe an SMS message, or if you really have the resources, then a phone call. And of course, what are the next steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, planning it all out. So planning your stages, and then of course now you've got it all figured out, what you want to do, but you've got to get it done. So you have to assign the various roles. For example, there's the distributors. Those are the people making the initial contact. There are the coordinators, the persons who are organizing the follow-up. There's the case managers, we call them. These are the people who then take responsibility, and it may not be the same person who is the distributor or the coordinator, but they're taking some responsibility when an individual makes some efforts and starts to come forward. Somebody's going to take responsibility to lead them along, to cultivate them. And of course there are people who are mentors, who really can mentor these new people. You need resources. You have to have materials for data collection, things like this. You might have a free gift to offer, if that's in your plan. Something that, for example, Rath Yatra, Philadelphia. They had a very nice idea. So everyone, what's the most attractive thing at the festival after the Rath has arrived and all the chanting and everything is done? What's the main booth at a Rath Yatra festival? Prashad, right? That's got the biggest lines, and okay. So at the Prashadam booth, where you're going to get, if not everyone, you're going to get almost everyone. They gave everyone at that booth a little card, something like this, and said, pick up your free book at the bookstall. Right? So, of course, then it had name and address and contact information. And so what they did, people out of, I don't know how many plates of prasadam they distributed, not sure about that, but they got 350, 400 people to come to the book table, get a little book, and deposit their contact information. Of course, those people who got that book were also at the book table now, so they get to look at the books, and there's add-on sales, so it increased the sales of books also. So altogether, the free book paid for itself, and they got the information. So that's a way to use a free gift. Of course, you have to set up your database systems. It's good to have your if your website is not already set up really nicely for new people, and if you are involved in your temple website, I encourage you to do our seminar on effective ISKCON websites, which is, I think, day after tomorrow. Arrange a dedicated email address so that people who contact, they get an automatic response, and make sure your Facebook page is set up. These are some of the resources. You may have many, many others. And of course, once you've arranged all this, you have to implement it. You've got to do it. But once you implement it, you really need to try to count and measure, and so that you analyze your results. We showed you in the first slides, 10% of those people who got the first issue, they signed up for the 3 issues. 50%, 10% of those, they bought a full subscription. 50%. Those numbers give you a sense of what's working, and then you can refine, adapt, and go do it again. So here are a few examples of some cards. This is just a simple one. I'd like to know more. This one says, would you like to do a survey? A survey is another great opportunity to engage people. You say, we'd like to follow up with you and see how you liked what we have given you today. Would you be willing to receive a survey from us? And that's great information. They fill out that survey. You've got a lot of information about them. Cards. Having everyone who's out there should always have some sort of a card that they can just give to somebody that has their name, follow-up information, ideally their personal information, not necessarily your personal email address, but an email address that your temple has set up that's like so-and-so at ISKCON Atlanta, or at ISKCON Tallahassee, or Boise, Chicago, whatever. You know, this is a special address that is meant for this follow-up purpose. And it might even be a generic address, info at so-and-so, so that the one person gets it and that it's not missed. A ticket is an interesting thing. You can offer, we're going to have this event, and here's your complimentary free ticket. There's a limited seats available. Gives another kind of incentive to come. So then we talked about events. You can have events that are advertised like this on some of the web programs. This is a meetup page. I don't know if this is in America. Other places may have similar type of things, and so you can invite people like that. Or here's one that we did called the Bhakti Experience. This was for Philadelphia. So this was at the Rath Yatra. This invitation was given so that 2 weeks later they could come to this event. And these are very good to have. What's this? Who knows what this is? QR. Okay, this is good. The first time I did it, very few people do. QR codes makes it makes it easy for people. Facebook, very powerful tool. This is an interesting follow-up strategy that has been pioneered now. We're working it in London, in the UK. You can read about it on ISKCON News. It's called Fortunate People. So you see all these people here, right? They were on the street, devotees were there, they distributed a book, they said, can I take your picture? You click, right? And it'll go on our Facebook page. Here it is. Like it. See yourself. share it with your friends. And then what the devotees are doing is they are looking out for the people that they distributed books to see if they did like the page, and if they did, then they start to engage them in a conversation. So that's another very powerful way. Your website, of course, maybe it's a special website. This is a website from the UK called Krishna Wisdom, and it's set up by the UK, and it was especially designed for follow-up. This is another one that we're working on from Outreach Committee. It's not yet quite ready, called aboutmybook.com. It would be a generic one that everyone could use. And then there's one more that the Canadian devotees have done, like this, Book on the Street, something that you can hand out. So it's something that for people to come to as a first place. Now, so we've given you the 5 steps, simple steps. But this, what we're talking about, this is not something new. Any of you have been in sales? Any sit? You've been in sales. Anyone, salespeople in an organization, not just on the street selling, but I'm talking about organizational sales, sales and marketing. So, sales and marketing people are doing follow-up all the time. I mean, that's the technology of sales and marketing, right? So they have things called funnels, like this. You have people who are inquiring, and then they're targeting and segmenting and scoring and nurturing and bringing them out until they're closed the deal and so on. I mean, this is a sophisticated, it's a standard process. And you, as marketers of the holy name and of Krishna consciousness, if you want to go further, become professionals in this field of follow-up, then learn from sales and marketing. Go to the web and just learn what people are doing for lead nurturing. In the context of today's marketing terminologies, what we used to call contact follow-up is called lead nurturing. Okay? Nurturing leads. Inform, educate, involve, validate, convert, keep alive. Nurture your leads. Grow them. It can get quite sophisticated with automation. You can automate many of these processes with new leads that are coming in, a pool of content from your Facebook page and your website and your email and broadcasting and so on that is going out to these people. They're hitting different milestones. They downloaded this or they asked about that, and they finally get to the ready stage where they're ready to yes, I want to take the course. Or, yeah, please come and visit me at my home. Or whatever it is that you're trying to bring them along to. And you keep nurturing them until they're with you. They're devotees. So this is called marketing automation systems. And you can learn about that. So you learn about lead nurturing and marketing automation. This is just an example of how we might be doing this to have face-to-face contacts and then website invitation and how it goes. As I said, it's a little sophisticated. I'm not asking you all to become sophisticated marketers overnight. But if you are serious about follow-up, this is where you can aim to go for. So, as I said, there's outsourcing. You may not be able to do all of this. So we, at the Outreach Committee, we intend to become very sophisticated. We intend to have marketing automation systems there's a whole internet team getting set up to, probably will be actually a ministry that's just being proposed to the GBC now, to have a ministry for the internet that will provide all kinds of services where you may be able to do some of it. Like you can do face-to-face contacts, face-to-face meetings, maybe you can call on the phone, but maybe you can't do online live help. That's, just, you don't have the resources, Or perhaps you don't even have the resource to do online sales, to sell a book over the internet. You might not have that. So we intend to set up so that you will have your own way to sell books and nurture people and follow up with them through a service center organization. Another one of these services will be courseware. So we're working on developing online courses that you can plug people into. Under one of the headings that will be there is Bhakti Life. There'll be also an ISKCON Academy, Krishna courses, different things that are according to different audiences. And then, if you get really sophisticated, and meaning more in terms of manpower, you can do what the Mormons do. And they offer, you can see here, request a free copy of the Book of Mormon, right? To request missionaries to deliver your free copy. They don't mail it to you. They go to your door and they deliver it. And they share the message of Joseph Smith. So that's a very powerful thing. If you again in the area of sophistication, you want to build your database, here are some free, powerful CRM systems. What do we mean by CRM? Who knows here? No one knows what CRM is. Okay. Contact, or it could be constituent or customer, whatever. C is contact, or in our case, relationship management. So CRM, contact relationship management. How to use the internet to manage your relationship, to track. All right, we met the person today. We sent out an email that day. The person responded to the email. Automatically it gets recorded in your CRM. Response received, clicked through. We sent another email. The person signed up for a course. Click. The sophisticated CRM systems will weigh these interactions and assign people ranks so that when you see that a person has done XYZ, then you'll get an email saying so-and-so has done X, Y, and Z, time to give them a call or reach out personally. So if you have 400, 500 contacts came through a, say a festival or something like that, to call them all up, you want to funnel them, right? So this is what these systems do, and they do get a little sophisticated, so either if you want to use something like this, you need to have in-house technology, or you need to find a service provider, and then there are many. We can help you with that too, to connect you with a provider that can host everything for you. You don't have to worry about it. They'll train you and so on. You have to pay for that, of course, but it's not so much. A few $100s a month, and you are really good to go. So this is me, and thank you. And we have some time
Can you go back, Prabhu, to the
for
email?
questions and
Can you go
answers.
back to the email?
What's
I'd
that?
like to have your email.
Well, you don't need to go back to that because. So who do you have? What? An extra one. I gotta get a few more here. And not only that, but follow-up. We want to follow up with you. So please leave your name, your address, your email address, and everything here. And let's see, who did we get one? Okay. And so questions. And let's see, anybody else? Any questions, comments, concerns? concerns? Yes?
I just wanted to share something.
Yeah, please, go ahead. By the way, Subhuti Krishna is one of our outreach committee members and has been very successful in his own Facebook system follow-up. So anyway,
There is a website, of course in America it is active now, but you can also, at least to get some ideas, it's called loyalblocks.com. You know, what they do is, they give you a website whereby there are various offers. When people come to the temple first time, so they sign. They also sign for loyal blocks, and you are also signed for loyal blocks. So every time they come to the temple, automatically their card is punched. So second visit, third visit, and then you can design your own offers. You know, first timer, welcome. You get prasadam, extra laddu, whatever. You know, some book, some laddu, whatever you want to get. Second time, then you can say 5 times somebody visits, you get this. 10 times, so like that, you know, it keeps the interest on, and they don't have to do anything. Automatically, you will have a gadget at your place. When they walk in, they are already punched. You can see. You will say 2 visitors in your store now or your temple now, like that. And then who are those? You can just find out, you know. And then, so this is a very good thing. Of course, you have to pay for that. But especially if it's a temple having a restaurant and store or gift store or whatever, it's very, very good. We are using it at our temple restaurant in Tallahassee. And people get excited, you know, they come and they ask, how many things? 3, okay, so getting 1 herbal tea free. And then you send your friends, you bring your friends, referrals. So this is just one idea I thought I will share with you.
take a note. Loyalty, because whether you have loyal blocks in your area, but everywhere this is it. Loyalty cards, loyalty systems, and they're very. Thank you very much. That's really good. It's really good because this is something that you can try out in so many different. If you have the opportunity to get the kind of software systems, but even if you just have a punch card, you know, like just, if you print yourself,
You
it's
can
still
do it
something.
I'm saying it is an idea. You don't have to go to loyal blocks. Just see there and you print your own thing.
Yeah.
At the counter, you tell people that.
And
And like a punch card, like 1 hole, 2 hole, or ticks or whatever. So that way, like for example, in our restaurant we have, you buy 6 meals and the 7th is free. So we keep ticking every time they come, they bring their friends, you know, like that. Those things can be used.
I don't have the other funnel. I'll have to put it because at there's another funnel, which at the bottom of the funnel is not the sales. That's the one before that. It's the advocate. It's the person who has bought your product, has become a loyal customer, and is now referring other people. And that's actually one of the main ways we spread Krishna consciousness.
And also in this funnel, let me also show that also. I worked for Home Depot for some time, and they have this training. I was in the cabinet making department, so they trained us that how you close, what are the steps. So in that, which I am not seeing here, the most important step is objections. Why are they not closing? Like that, you are interested in Krishna, why you are not coming? Get the objections from them. Why? And once you get the objection, then you address that objection. Then they become alright. Every time, so at every step, you have to find out what is the objection they are having, and not taking the next step. And once you know the objection, then you can work on that. Because people generally will close the deal only when the objections are taken care of.
So then this is important when you're planning your follow-up. You think about what are these audience, what could be their objections? and then you've got it already, oh, well, it's too far away. Oh, but we have this transport system. Oh, but it's, not the right time. Oh, but we have, this is another time we have it. Oh, but, I don't know anything about this. Oh, but, so you anticipate their objections and you plan this. Thank you very much.
Tallahassee is a university place. So when we invite the university students, we are about 5-6 miles away from the university. So first objection is that no transport. So immediate we have a solution. There is a shuttle. You tell us, are you ready? I will send. And we ask one of the congregation, Prabhu, can you pick up two boys who are there? So this is how you tackle that.
Thank you very much. So when is we have till 11:30 or?
45. 11:45 Pushpanjali.
Yeah, but I think we have to end at 11:30.
Yeah.
So we want to ask some of you to start giving us some ideas. You've heard all of this. What would any of you do differently? Once you've heard of this, yes?
Just on the contact card, I tried that out, and most of the time they would lose the contact card. So they wouldn't have the number to call or anything. So what I came up with was a bookmark. So instead of it's the same thing, same format. It has the contact, temple contact, personal name, and everything.
Okay, so it's very good point. So instead of a contact card, something that it's a bookmark that you put in. Very good point. I should, yeah.
And also, in our country, our address is not in the books because we're not on the map. So we actually stamp our contact details into the front and back of every book.
Okay,
So
yeah.
everything is
Yeah, you put it in, you stamp it into the book,
We do that also,
plus the bookmark. Okay, good.
and the bookmark has a quotation from Bhagavad Gita.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing to think about. This is and we have a few of these, you can pick them up, and we have more in our outreach booth. This is a new card. It's a mantra card for Harinam. I'll just read what it says here. A sacred street party. It doesn't say Harinam Sankirtan Jagya. It says a sacred street party. And it says, this song, it doesn't say this mantra, it says this song is as old as the hills and is known as a mantra, or healing sound, taken from the oldest wisdom tradition in the world, which will bring you good fortune.
That's that.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Worth celebrating, right? For more details, visit KrishnaWisdom.com. So, when you design your things, a Bhagavad Gita verse, certainly that's nice, but maybe something you're thinking about your audience. They're maybe first time.
We got from quotes, from famous quotations, our quotations.
There's some famous quotations.
Yeah, so we kind of, like Radhanath Swami Maharaj's quotations are a little bit different. Yeah, same message, but then a little bit.
Language. Learn the language. You were all there this morning with Dave Amrita was talking about innovation. So for us, our innovation today may be to learn how to talk about Krishna in modern terms a little bit better. It's not a huge innovation, but it is actually, to some extent, it would be innovative for many of us who are accustomed to talking about Krishna consciousness in a language which is not so easy for people to understand. Yes? Excuse me?
I'd like to copy that down, please.
Yes, in fact, you're going to get, provided you sign up here, you'll be getting a PDF ready versions of these things, so we can provide you the InDesign version, so you can change the details of it. This particular card, this is from the UK, and they are changing this because they did the card, and they put this beautiful picture of Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda, but then they took a few look at this from the eyes of a person on the street, and they said, naked ladies, long hair, slender bodies, wearing dresses. Yeah. So, wasn't quite the right message, you know. People who are not familiar, so thinking about who your audience is, crafting your message to fit them.
Another very effective way of follow-up to a large number. Of course, some dedicated person from the temple is required is a recorded message in the phones. You know, especially for all your events and all. Like Alachua, I get all the time there.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
I'm not from Alachua, but from Alachua, whoever goes to Alachua once, even if you are in Washington, you'll get that.
So you have different, that's not for your first time contact, but still, one question that came up in one of our other seminars was, what about those who just don't make progress? Do you just keep following up on nurturing those people who they come to the temple once or twice, they come again, and they just remain on the periphery? And in this, one of these slides you see here, there are people at different stages of their receptivity. And successful salespeople continue to nurture, especially with these lower cost automated systems, people who are not ready to take the next step, but they can be nurtured along. And as long as they don't, here's something that may surprise you. It's advised that you periodically re-opt in your mailing list, your email list. You can accumulate lots and lots of people. But, of course, some addresses just bounce off and they're no good. But it's advised, if you want to really use that mailing list successfully, that at a certain point you ask people to reconfirm their interest. And in that way, you can also deal with some of those people who aren't responding, and you have now a more targeted, you know, just the fact that they reconfirmed their desire to receive your newsletter is an indication of their interest, and it bumps them up. So any others here who are now going to go back and do something differently? Anything you may take out of this that you think you might implement in your center? How about, let me ask you, where are you from, first of all?
I'm from Guruvayur, South India.
Guruvayur, but you know, it's a territory. So he's our chair of our committee, so I'm sure he's working with you. But I hope that now you can help him better. Do you have some ideas? How about you? Where are you from?
I am from
Guyana.
Yeah, probably when I go back, I think I have to go back with my members there and discuss plan of something to do this or what I learned here, and second is to get maybe over both the members that try to
Good. I could hear some of that. You spoke very softly. Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah. First of all, when I go back, my plan is that when I go back, when I will discuss this with the members, then we will plan our strategy.
So you're going to take all this, you're going to sit with your temple members, and you're going to start planning a strategy.
Yes.
And then you're going to send us a report.
Yeah, we never had any place really, so we have to get in place.
Good, good. Any other comments, otherwise we'll end a little early, and you can go and worship Bhakti Siddhanta.
So,
Yes.
so all these presentations, which we are supposed to read presentation, if I want to share the same presentation with our team back home, is it a possibility to get it?
Yes, we're going to send you a copy of the, you're going to be able to get this whole presentation. It'll be on the GBC website, and this is Vaishnava Seva Prabhu, I forgot to introduce him. He is behind ISKCON Desire Tree and all those wonderful websites that I hope you're taking advantage of, including our ISKCONOutreach.com website, which we're just building up right now, and most importantly, our Facebook group, ISKCON Outreach group on Facebook. We have a page also. Please go and join our group. In fact, we're going to join you anyways.
Now, the feedback form when filling, automatically you will be added to the group.
We're going to put you all in the group.
So the group, the best advantage is that whatever is put on the group, the email goes to all the members automatically. So you will keep getting links from all over the world. So please join that group without fear.
But don't leave the group, because we're going to add you.
No, when I'm saying join there, because sometimes, you know.
Yeah, sometimes if we don't have it, or you can invite other people, once we have joined you, or you've joined, you can invite your friends and join them. So let's build this group, ISKCON Outreach, where we talk, we discuss, we share things, we'll have files like this. Excuse me?
It's a closed group.
It's a closed group, yes. It's a closed group.
Only for us.
It's internal. It's not a public group for people to,
So anybody wants to join, we'll add to that group.
so it's
So
a
if
nice
you
safe
want, if
place.
you want to send somebody, then you should send a reference, your reference, and you know that you have sent, so we will accept it. Otherwise,
Yeah, this is we want to build our network, outreach network. We'll have to, I don't know if we'll use that name, but our member, one of our members is Jayapataka Swami, and he's saying we should call ourselves the Outreach Unified Team. Out. Hey, whatever, we'll figure something out. But we're a network just within the bigger network of the strategic planning. We're hoping to build with you the outreach, ISKCON Outreach Strategic Network. Any other comments, questions? Thank you very, very much. And don't leave without signing up.